If your vitality is low and you're above 60, sabotaging your bedroom performance is no longer what it was, and you're beginning to question whether your finest days are. Pay close attention behind you, since what you might be shocked by what I'm about to reveal, but it might potentially alter everything. Yes, 3 common nuts might be the secret to getting your vitality rekindled by energy and supplying the type of blood flow and sexual encounter you haven't experienced in years, natural, without pills or powders, actual meals that specifically target the mechanisms aging attempts to slow. I'm Dr. Mohit Kara, and I've spent more than 30 years assisting guys in regaining their strength, their self-assurance, and their masculinity, and I can already tell you aging does not imply abandonment. Rather, it signifies becoming more knowledgeable about how you feed your body, but most men are unaware of this. 3 nuts promote improved blood flow, stronger hormones, and more difficult erection levels by utilizing your biological abilities. Not opposed to it, I'll demonstrate in this video how they work, why their use makes them more potent collectively. The most common error made by older men is making mistakes that hinder their progress, and the straightforward daily schedule that might help you rediscover your identity. If you haven't already, hurry up before we dig in. Not yet subscribed, but I urge you to press that button to activate the bell to ensure you don't miss any more videos. Created to assist guys over 60 in feeling more robust, energized, and more assured every day. And if you discover this helpful, write 1 in the comments section of the video. If not, I appreciate your feedback. Provide something that genuinely bolsters your health as well as vitality. So let's begin. Oh no, with the first powerful nut, a man over 60 should not pay attention to this play. A vital part in re-establishing blood flow, increasing blood flow, and establishing the basis for more robust and long-lasting performance, let us discuss the nut that is worthy of being called the circulation. The circulation of King Nut 1. Walnut. Nut 1. Walnuts. I can still recall one of my patients, King. A 68-year-old man named Tom entered my office. With a defeated expression, he said, "Doc, it's like my body simply no longer reacts to desire to spend time with my spouse, yet it's not functioning as it once did." I've heard it much more frequently than you might imagine, and as with many other cases, Tom's blood was the problem, not simply desire. Flow, which explains why the first nut it is necessary to discuss the modest walnut. Although it may not seem like much, it is among the most potent meals you can consume in order to encourage circulation, and other than circulation, everything else is weak. Breaks down erections, energy, and mental clarity is where it all starts and finishes. Flow of blood. L-arginine is abundant in walnuts, and an amino acid that aids in nitric oxide, the body's oxide, is the gas that causes blood vessels to relax and permits greater blood flow. When you're younger, your body generates a lot of it, but levels quickly decline after 60. This is when walnuts can be useful. Restore that natural function while maintaining your vessels are open, flexible, and reacting. They also contain a lot of omega-3 fatty acids, which lessen inflammation and enhance cardiovascular health, are 2 factors that are extremely important to any individual wishing to. I've had men tell me that he does his best work, that following the addition of a little handful of walnuts every night for their vitality returned within a few weeks. They awoke to a better morning, erections that seemed more intense, and even had more endurance throughout. It's biology, not a miracle, functioning as intended at first. You provide it with appropriate assistance, and the lovely thing is that walnuts are simple to include. No prescription drugs or medications. Actually, your body is a natural tool, understands and is capable of. If you've been feeling lethargic, use this. If you haven't had as firm erections, or if your general motivation seems to have been running low just because of this one change, could begin to improve the situation. However, walnuts are just one component of the equation, since the following nut we're about to discover doesn't only provide blood flow, which immediately increases erection strength, but, in a sense, endurance that has been demonstrated in clinical research. You won't want to overlook this if you remain here, as well as these go-ahead insights are speaking to you. And leave a remark on the first one below, just so I am aware that you remain with me, and the correct men are now receiving the word. Let's continue and explore the second strong nut that might be useful. Regain your strength is pistachios, confidence, and erection. Nut number 2. Pistachios. Hi, I had a patient a few years back. Richard was 72 years old and in good general health. But subtly annoyed, like if I'm told to be there in his mind, but physically I try, but my body isn't showing up. The medications, but they made him feel strange. Pale, flushed, and, to be honest, his desire was a natural one, and he was humiliated. Remedy that was effective with his body not opposing it, at which point I presented him with most people think of pistachios. Using pistachios as a simple snack, but they are unaware of the fact that pistachios are among the few foods that have been clinically proven to enhance natural erectile function. In fact, in an intriguing investigation pistachios were added by Turkish males to their daily eating for only 3 weeks, resulting in notable enhancements in erecting length, stiffness and total sexual contentment without drugs or gimmicks. Only authentic food with authentic impact. Pistachios has a high arginine. Similar to walnuts, which are beneficial to the body, they enhance the synthesis of nitric oxide that indicates improved blood flow, particularly to the places where you most need it. But pistachios are unique because of their mix of beneficial fats and antioxidants and nutrients from plant sterols that promote vascular health and decrease inflammation and even worse levels of cholesterol, all of which add up to one thing: improved performance using greater self-assurance and less irritation. When Richard included a tiny add a few pistachios to his day, usually, around lunch, he began to notice changes in just 2 weeks. He became stronger, more impulsive erections in the morning, desire, and, most importantly, a feeling that his body was reacting once more. It seems like something clicked, they said to me, as if my system had abruptly reversed itself. If you've been experiencing a sense of disconnection from your actual self, or if anxiety about performance has infiltrated your life, the pistachios in pictures could be the silent remedy that you have been ignoring. They're inexpensive, simple to locate, and surprisingly strong. However, what if I told you that there is still another? A nut that isn't only good for blood flow or strength of erection, but in reality maintains your hormone levels from the inside out. It's revolutionary for energy from testosterone and even the prostate. This following one could be the most health-related. Let's discuss the most crucial of them all. The hormone is found in 3 Brazil nuts. Nut 3. Brazil nuts. Let me tell you about Gary, the restorer. Was 66 years old, active, and sharp-minded. Deeply infatuated with his wife, but he told me that something didn't feel right. I just don't feel like myself, and I lack energy. I'm not as interested in having sex there. It's as though my body is sluggish despite my making an effort to resist it. He was doing walking every day and doing all the right things, eating healthily, but there was more to it than that. Out of balance, therefore, I inquired about selenium. He gave me a perplexed expression, like he had never heard of it at all, unlike most males. Brazil nuts are useful in these situations. Brazil nuts are not your typical snack. Are abundant in selenium, making them among the most strong but underappreciated minerals for men's well-being. From just 1 or 2 daily can significantly increase testosterone production, enhance the health of sperm, and even safeguard the prostate. The issue is your body does not have selenium. Produces it is totally dependent on what you eat, and as you age, the more it becomes crucial. Gary began eating only 1 Brazil when, however, things started to shift every morning. Better mood, less brain, gradually at first. Fog additional motivation, but by the conclusion of the first month, he observed nothing else. His libido had returned, and he wasn't trying. Like his body had been, it was natural. Awaiting approval to feel like a man once more. Brazil nuts' beauty lies in their simplicity that eliminates the need for handfuls, the reality that excessive use can be more detrimental than nice, but that 1 nut a day turns into a sort of hormonal protection that keeps your testosterone and keeps your energy levels steady, as well as your performance prepared if you've been experiencing the spark is fading, like if you're worn out from your desire or lack of reason. This 1 nut might be the only one left. Your body has been waiting for a calm reset. Currently, what occurs when you combine these 3 nuts is walnuts. Combining Brazil nuts and pistachios is an easy daily habit. The solution could startle you, as it's not only about the nutrients being effective. Combined in a manner that amplifies. Let's investigate their respective advantages. Why that combo is more important than the majority of guys determine whether you're still observing and considering this knowledge to be of value first in the comments to allow me to be aware that you are present and engaged. Let's proceed and investigate point number 4. At this point, things truly begin to come on. Why do these 3 nuts function together? Why these 3 nuts complement each other better. One thing I've discovered after working with males for decades is this: the body doesn't mend by itself. Thrives when the appropriate elements work together, cooperating rather than merely working alone, and that is precisely what occurs when you bring Brazil nuts, walnuts, and pistachios into a single daily schedule, with each nut on its own having amazing advantages, but when together, they do something amazing. They encourage and magnify each other in a manner in which your body actually allow me to relate a story that has stuck with me. A patient named Dan, 71, had attempted to eat every nut at various locations throughout the years, but he wasn't very consistent. After some time, munch on some pistachios. After a few months, forget about them. He would read about walnuts and give them a try. He came to me, but it was always hit or miss, stating, "Doc, I've tried everything. However, I don't feel any difference." I inquired him to attempt something new, not only eat the nuts, but make a commitment to everything 3 in unison each day for 21. What transpired after those 3 weeks was amazing. Dan returned and said, I'm not sure what's happening, but I feel more energized in the morning, lighter, and my spouse observed that I'm more present. I was struck by that final word, presence, since this is what combination provides you with more than simply physical enhancements, but a revitalized feeling of being completely present in your body once more. The walnut promotes blood flow, activating the channels that maintain your strong erection, heart, and brain. Pistachio expands upon that base, enhancing the quality of an erection and maintaining silently power, and the Brazil nut replenishes your hormones, providing you with from the inside out. The Edge is a full circle strategy that addresses the top 3 issues that guys encounter following 60 drive, and the best part is that it doesn't necessitate significant adjustments to your life. It's a regular routine of 5 minutes with strong returns, but naturally even the one common factor might undermine the best plan. I also see it from afar, frequently, and it can subtly cancel out all of your advancements without your knowledge. Allow me to explain what it is and how to. The most common mistake is to dodge it 5 times. The most common error made by men. The majority of guys create one of the most challenging aspects of my work. Involves assisting rather than diagnosing issues. They've quietly given up, and guys notice. Nor all at once, nor in a dramatic manner. However, it usually begins gradually over time. Shrugging, a bit less vigor, a little less motivation, possibly some awkward moments spent in the bedroom, and rather than asking why or trying to find answers, most men dismiss it by saying, "I suppose this is only a portion of obtaining." That mentality right there, that quiet resignation, is the worst error. I see that your body isn't doing that. What you're not is what pains you the most. Longer waiting for a response, disregarding it in the hopes that nothing will change. That's what gradually saps your energy. Not age. I recall speaking with a man named at age 69. Bill was retired and still had a lot of comedy, yet there was a weight about him when he stated, "I just figured this out." Was my new standard, and that devastated me. Heart, since I was aware that it wasn't real. Bill didn't require a miracle in order to 30 years ago. He only required a little change in his perspective on his health, a readiness to give up writing himself off. So I urged him to do one easy things. Begin. The nuts begin to stroll once more and begin to think that advancement was still feasible in a couple of weeks. The man who believed he was dying began to feel like himself once more. Crisper, more vibrant, and more closely linked to his body. The error isn't in becoming older. The error is presuming that aging entails giving up. Doesn't work if you stay inquisitive, act, and offer your body what it needs to operate as it did created. It leads us to the last element. The one who makes it through this voyage taking everything you've learned is simple, and transform it into a straightforward, sustainable, regular routine without uncertainty or guesswork. Simply a straightforward route that each day feels more robust and energized. And let's walk through it while totally living once more. 6 of your daily vitality together. Your vitality routine, everyday routine. I've been approached by a lot of males Overwhelmed by the abundance of available health advice supplements that are piled on top of half-read books about kitchen counters and advice from friends, physicians, and the internet, all dragging them in various directions, and I say the same thing to them every time. Taking action does not result in long-lasting change. More comes from doing the proper thing. Items constantly, which is why I created this daily schedule to be straightforward, long-lasting, and incredibly powerful. It is not dependent on having a gym membership, a dozen medications, or a complex diet plan, only a few deliberate decisions made daily that collaborate to rebuild what age has attempted to erode this. What I suggest doing first thing in the morning: a single Brazil nut that's little and simple to retain and provides a powerful dose of using selenium to boost your testosterone levels and safeguard your prostate. A lot of my patients have a little container in their one nut in the bathroom immediately after brushing their teeth. No justifications. Forget about noon and take a few pistachios without salt, particularly if you've been experiencing a decrease in vitality in the afternoon. They'll assist in stabilizing your blood in the afternoon. Sugar increases blood flow and provides you the nutrition the body requires to increase strength, endurance, and erection, plus they create an excellent snack, followed by roughly an hour in the evening. Before going to bed, grab a tiny amount of walnuts. Not only does it provide nightly support, restoring blood flow while simultaneously calming inflammation and aiding in your body's preparation for relaxation and recuperation, but also consider that your body uses it as fuel while you sleep. That's it, just repeating 3 little steps daily, but I've observed these straightforward men's lives are drastically changed by their decisions. Who believed their heyday was over. They became more energized, self-assured, and intimacy without striving for perfection, but by respecting their body with the appropriate fuel at the right time. But before we conclude, I would like to give you something even better, crucial, a message that goes further compared to diet or routine because of the each physical change is it. Mental one, and the information I'm going to provide in the final moments might potentially be the change in perspective that transforms your stay with me for the rest of your life. In conclusion 7, in summary, if you've read this far, I would like to talk to you for a moment. Not as a physician working at a desk, but as a person who has heard hundreds of males similar to you who experience their strength ebbing, their vitality diminishing, and their self-assurance subtly slipping, men who have loved and worked away hard to provide for others, and all of a sudden began to wonder, what about me? Where did I go? Is a more important question. More prevalent than you may believe, and it's not a asking with weakness, is an indication that you still care, that you wish to experience strength and vital. And the fact is, can you tell me about 3 things now? Simple yet effective foods: pistachios, walnuts, and walnuts from Brazil to expand your circulation and blood flow. Robust pistachios to restore electricity to your performance and provide natural support. Brazil nuts and long-lasting erections to restore your hormone balance in a discreet manner and do nothing more to protect your prostate. More than a single tiny dose every day. Each of them has the capacity to make a difference, but they collaborate, harmoniously bolstering your heart, your hormones. It's not hoopla about MTEs and your manhood. The way the body functions is based on biology. When we give up against it and begin feeding it in the manner that nature intended. Now, consistency is crucial. In the morning, a handful of Brazil nuts, midday pistachios, and a couple of walnuts. Before, these are not merely nibbles. They're claims they make, such as, I'm not done, I deserve to give more, and I still have more to give. Feel powerful in my body. Because the actual change is not limited to your bodily well-being. It's in the way you begin to conduct yourself. Once more erect, more involved, more linked to those you care about. I've witnessed it occur too frequently to be skeptical. I've witnessed the spark return. Saw the shoulders rise and the smile come back. The deeper connections are not due to some miracle remedy, but because a guy made the decision to think that his life wasn't finished simply since a calendar indicated that he was past 60. So if the message of today sparked something in you, even if it's just a small portion, this resonated with the aspect of you that's been silent for too long, thus, I extend an invitation: you should start small today. Regular actions help your body recover. Your fortitude, remind yourself, and the world that didn't include your finest years. Finally, they simply received a beginning. You still have time to possess authority, and you are still a valuable man. Battling for his retention. Kudos if you found this video useful in any way. If it offered you clarity, hope, or even just a friendly reminder that you're still concerned, I would be quite grateful if you pause to give this video a like. It allows the platform is aware that this content is useful and aids more men over 60 in locating the direction they are due. If you are aware, someone who might gain from this, perhaps a father, brother, or friend, share it with others instead of keeping it to yourself. You never know whose life you could influence. Only by passing this. I also want to hear from you before you depart. Tell me what resonated in the comments section below. Most with what you intend to attempt. Or simply type, "I'm just getting started today, so I am aware that you are making the initial move." Your participation really makes this project possible. And if you want to back this channel so that we can keep making superior content created especially for the health of older guys, think about making a little gift by clicking the link in the example. Each piece enables us to additional men equipped with the truth and support they require to flourish. Thank you for observing and having faith in self-sufficient enough to act.